Bishop, that is very true. I mean, quite a number of, in fact, I think a lot of people will agree with you. But then it was seemed that the committee had scheduled a visit. You did say that you had scheduled a visit to the Speaker of the House of Representatives. You had also scheduled a visit to the President before now to visit him. And it would seem that what you wanted to impress upon him is that governance must start. You really do believe that you haven't seen anything in the direction of governance?
I think we didn't expect that we'll have to wait till September to have ministers. And I think that unless we want to be hypocritical, many of us have said, and people have said openly, that if this was the fourth time President Buhari tried to be president and successfully became president, well, the truth of the matter is that you would have identified many Nigerians across the board, who are fit to do the job. But again, it is his prerogative to decide how he wants to govern. But I'm saying that given what we had APC say, given the kind of claims that APC made, the level of their preparedness, the level of their decision to change, well, we need that change very clearly spelled out. That change can definitely not just be a change of actors. It ought to have been a change that we can visibly see a government that is fully prepared. The elections were concluded, and there was a period of time in between. All I'm saying finally is, look, we need a bit of action. Otherwise, Nigerians will expend their energies in the wrong things. We still have quite a lot of battles to fight. And I think we really need to focus on a lot of the problems that this country faces to figure out, by way of a conversation and policy direction, where are we heading for? Boko Haram may end tomorrow. Okay, the shooting war may end. But I can tell you that will just be the beginning of the whole most complex and complicated problem of trying to fix this country. How all those things are going to go require a lot of thinking. Our universities should be up and running in terms of thinking through policy processes. This is this is one administration coming with a lot of baggage in terms of, privileging intellectuals and intellectual contribution. And that is why I'm saying I'm a little bit impatient, because really, as I said, I really want to see a bit of action on the block.
Bishop, we also did put out a question on Twitter about the country, what people expect, what they want to see, and especially as it had to do with the International Youth Day and youths in this country. And then some talked about the days wherein they will spend their own money, buy Nigeria's flag, put it in their house. It's quite emotional for a lot of people. Do you see us returning to those days anytime soon?
It is, again, look, identities are constructed, they are manufactured, okay? And it is in the interest. When Obama says, yes, we can, he had to think through all those things, and nobody remembers anything else that Obama said except the whole philosophy of, yes, we can. When President Buhari says, I'm going to be president to all, and I've forgotten the details, I'm going to be for everybody and for nobody. Okay, we needed by now to have concretized that. I mean, we cannot just be nostalgic about the past, but we need to create, new myths, new mythology, new identities. We need new theater. We need new drama to take us away from the drudgery of what has been Nigeria to a new vision. Now, a lot of these things happen by different ways and different means. So again, this is what I mean by saying we need by now to have crafted a vision. Otherwise, like the Egyptians, like the people of Israel living in Egypt, there will always be those who say, you know what, we prefer the nostalgic about the past, with the corruption, with the inefficiency, with all the problems. If we don't get a clear vision of where we are going and the fact that things have changed, we're not expecting magic, but we need to have an idea about how much traveling mile do we still have to cover. And nobody is expecting that we'll wake up one day and press a button and a new Nigeria will be here. But I think we need to have an idea about where we are heading for, how it's going to take us to get there, what kind of sacrifices we require. By now, we need to define the image of what a new Nigeria would look like. Where will old people fit in? Where will young people, all this quantum of energy, how are we going to feed it into what process are we going to feed it? What should young Nigerians be thinking? Should people be, aspiring to go to university? Should people be thinking of what to do with their lives? What are the ranges of freedom that Nigerians have gained? Freedom to do what? So for me, this is the kind of vision that I'm talking about, that by now we would have needed to see very clearly defined, where this country is headed for and what is going to require to take us there.
All right, Bishop, I mean, the World Youth Day, we did talk about some parts of it in our opening sequence here today. Could you give us your impression about young people in this country, and if you've got a message for them about the future of this country and their own position or their place in the future of this country?
Well, I mean, my grandmother used to say that if you stay with an old woman who makes potash, you're likely to have, white hair, early in childhood. I mean, growing up in Nigeria as a young person, in the kind of dysfunctional environment that we have, young people are experiencing corruption and experiencing the excesses, of living in an unfair and in an unequal society, perhaps more than anybody else. I think the real challenge is now is actually the challenge is for government to appreciate what it stands to lose if it doesn't take advantage of the energy of the young people. My concern with young people again has always been that there is an increasing tendency, for young people to seek to imitate, what their elders are doing. We now find in the universities, for example, I went to deliver a convocation lecture, and the Vice Chancellor was complaining to me about the fact that many young people in the universities are going around with wrappers and sticks, claiming to be chiefs and claiming to be this, that, and the other. Increasingly, younger people are expending their energies wanting party or the other. We now see increasingly a loss of energy and vitality, in the university campuses. All those years, the energy of young people that was spent on criticizing government, more and more young people are increasingly more interested in rallying, because governor is coming, because president is coming. So I think that there is a new wall out there to be conquered. And I think we are grateful to God that our young people are getting on with their lives. They are making more money than they could have ever dreamt of by relying on government. So all that government needs to do is really to create the necessary environment, that can free the energy of our young people. And I think, there is a future for, for young people in Nigeria to conquer. But for that to happen, they must move away from.
All right, Bishop. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us today on Sunrise Daily, Bishop. Okay, yes, Bishop, we're just going to wrap up. We know you have to run. Well, thank you for your time today on the program.
Thank you, Chamberlain, and greet everybody in the studio. God bless you.
Thank you.